the famous signature tune. And really the atmosphere here at White Hart Lane, reminiscent of other cup nights. I don't know, there's something rather special about when you turn the floodlights on here, memories of Benfica and so on come flooding back. The Tottenham team taking their bow. And it's the Spurs side that is trying to get to Wembley in a League Cup final for the third time in 6 years. And not surprisingly, it's the same side that won at Derby last Saturday. Last time they were there at Wembley, it was Ralph Coates who got the winner, having come on as a substitute. And in 1971, against Aston Villa, Martin Chivers got both. And in 1971, against Aston Villa, Martin Chivers got both goals. In the FA Cup at a night breaking new ground, making their first appearance in the semi-final of the League Cup.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to White Hart Lane. And a special welcome to the players, officials and supporters of Newcastle United. Here are tonight's team changes.
The atmosphere at White Hart Lane, really reminiscent of other days.
For Newcastle United,
the atmosphere at White Hart Lane, really reminiscent of other cup nights. I don't know why it is, but somehow when the floodlights are turned on here, one remembers Benfica and occasions like that. And the Spurs side tonight, given a very warm welcome, is looking to get to Wembley in the League Cup final for the third time in 6 years. Not surprisingly, it's the side that won at Derby last Saturday. When they were last at Wembley, it was Ralph Coates who came on as a substitute, who got the winner. That was against Norwich in 1973. And 2 years earlier, both goals were scored by a man who now has a beard, Martin Chivers, and they were against Aston Villa. Newcastle United, for all their tradition in the FA Cup, breaking new ground. This is their first appearance in the semi-final of the League Cup. They've got a change at number 5, indeed the third number 5 we've seen in consecutive matches. Glenn Keeley, who comes in because David Craig is injured and John Bird is cup-tied. Newcastle kick-off, playing left to right. I don't know how much we should read into that, but their priority will certainly be to hold Tottenham in this first leg. McAllister's header. Spurs wearing the darker shorts. Pat Jennings, who had yet another remarkable game at the baseball ground last Saturday. Duncan, beaten by Howard. John Pratt. Jimmy Neighbour. Mike Mahoney kicking against a reasonably strong breeze. Terry Naylor. Pitch looking just about the best I've seen at this stage of the season anywhere in the country. Very green and very dry. In fact, I know for a fact the referee's only wearing rubber studs. Here's McAllister. Ralph Coates. Tottenham ball. Tackled by Cassidy. A chance for a long one from Chivers. Pratt is coming up and aim for him. Corner. John Pratt, who's got well among the goal scorers this season as Pratt. 7 is total. Tommy Craig. Chivers being marked by McDonald. That's an interesting pairing. And McDonald combining with Natras to keep out the in-swinger. Being the centre forward of the present and one who used to have the job. McDonald once again doing a centre half's job. Pretty adept at doing so. His Perryman wouldn't come down for him. The flag up for offside. Referee tonight is Clive Thomas of Treorchy. Young not timing it, but an accidental collision with Garling. Burns. Natras. Cassidy taking over. Pratt. Jimmy Neighbour wearing 11 but playing exclusively on the right at the moment. Naylor going down the right flank. Duncan in the middle, so is Chivers. Good early cross, Duncan underneath it. Good start from Mahoney. But a swift move from Tottenham. And a very early centre from Terry Naylor. Young. Garling roughly on a par in height with Young. Burns with solid tackle by McAllister. Chivers and Keeley. Ben Keeley, whose last game was against Queen's Park Rangers. Back at the end of September. McAllister. Kennedy. His mistake costing the corner. Duncan, the player, on the line. Chivers going to join him. Young on the 6-yard line. Natras looking in. Here's Young. Good catch. Could well be a pretty busy man tonight. Mahoney still got that knee strapped up that made him doubtful for last week's FA Cup replay against Queen's Park Rangers. Cassidy coming to take the throws. McAllister follows Gowling. Craig. Neighbour. Pratt. Good shoulder by Chivers. Perfectly fair challenge. Neighbour. Pratt having to dive in a bit with the shot. Goal kick. Newcastle tonight wearing pale blue shorts and yellow shirts. Tottenham in the darker shorts and white shirts. Jeff Nulty, two skippers together. The referee playing that on. It was a bit wild by Perriman. Here's Natras. Very well turned back by McAllister. Pratt, Craig, Young. Burns, Nulty well up. Coates, finally Young. Spurs pushing up. Now the early ball might catch them. Young, not terribly well hit that by Natras. Or indeed by McAllister. Just on his toe a bit. Natras. Kennedy. McDonald might get in on this. Keith Osgood who beat him. Burns. 2 or 3 on the far post. And some several hundred behind the goal. Referee playing the advantage. He's done quite a lot already. Neighbour. Chivers. Another chance for the long throw. To Neighbour. Too far for him. Only McDonald up for Newcastle. Here's Osgood. Duncan trying to turn and does! Good save! Nice turn by Duncan, although suspicion of the elbow. Osgood who put it across. Did he push a bit? Anyway, he got in a good shot, which was well matched by Mahoney. Keeley has followed Chivers to the touchline, left of the man with the ball now, McAllister. Now going with him as Chivers cut inside. Perriman. Duncan down the middle, watched by Howard. Not easy to keep changing the centre half. We saw that last week when John Bird took an awful long time to settle down. Pat Howard always the cover man. Pratt's Duncan finding the shot wasn't there to take. Coates. Spurs throw. This sort of position, it's almost a corner for them if he wants to try it. Such little effort apparently too. Pratt shot that was blocked. Chivers and Natras. Too much finesse from Newcastle in defence. Cassidy. Trying to take that on his knee. Concedes corner number 6. Wynn will take it in again. Howard's head up. Canister. Good try. Got his first goal for Tottenham last Saturday, and obviously enjoyed that moment, trying for another. Mahoney very happy where it was going though. Young finding Gowling slightly awkward. Coates. Chivers and Keeley. And Keeley equal to it. Burns. Neighbour. Beaten by Kennedy, and 3 against 3 here for a moment, and here is Gowling. Just the sort of thing that Tottenham are going to have to watch. It's a danger for the home side in 2-leg matches. The quick break, and Gowling with a shot that went wide. And now waving the defence forward, which is why Jennings waited his moment before clearing. Clive Thomas certainly allowing the physical challenge, letting the game flow. Chivers in on it. Mahoney to the rescue again. Rebound off Neighbour, putting Chivers in, well denied by Mahoney. Young is up. Here's Duncan. Just couldn't get any power in the header as he was moving backwards. Perryman. Spurs playing with the 2 men down the middle. Duncan would come wide then. Chivers in the middle. And Neighbour on the far side as we look. Kennedy for Newcastle, looking for McDonald. Corner. Maybe as well for Tottenham that McDonald didn't fall. Certainly he got away as the challenge came. The ball was won in time and gone for the corner. Kennedy, good save, and tried again. Marvellous stuff from Jennings. Neighbour. Well, prepared to run his man on the outside, but not testing Mahoney. But certainly Pat Jennings well tested then, and doing so brilliantly. First from Kennedy from distance, and then from McDonald from right under his nose. Real power of the shot here, knocking it down, and McDonald went in, and he managed to block it from right in front of him. Jennings fouled by Gowling. Gowling obviously feeling it was accidental. Header by Chivers. Then Neighbour trying to run Kennedy. I've beaten him that time. Free kick. was the referee given the corner? He's given the corner. Really amounts to the same thing. Wind a bit stronger, if anything. Duncan finishing up flat. Again an attempt by John Pratt to curl one straight in. That one rather taken more by the wind.
Chivers, Pratt.
Final shot from well outside the box. Interesting change of tactics there by Neighbour as he got round Kennedy. Chivers to knock it back. And Pratt with another shot that was going up. Slight change of pace though led to that chance. Naylor. So much of the Tottenham attack starting from this man. Chivers. Naylor's gone down the wing. Nicely turned for him. Duncan underneath it, so is Coates. Got cover line, knocked in by Pratt. John Pratt, the scorer. A messy goal for the goal that Tottenham have been struggling hard to get. And again starting from a move by Jimmy Neighbour on the right side. John Pratt's 8th goal of the season. And very well received. Ball lovely turn for Naylor. Naylor's cross. Duncan pushed out of the way. Perryman who got up. The French getting in the way of the goalkeeper and Pratt nodding it into the corner. Minutes gone. And a good Tottenham attack ends in an untidy goal. But a goal which now divides the teams. Here's Gowling. Young away. Free kick's been given. Foul by Neighbour on Kennedy. And the cry from the Tottenham crowd is Wembley, here we come. McDonald doing the running. Keeley is up. And that's as safe as you can get. Spurs supporters showing their feelings behind Jennings. Another good header by Chivers. And another good run by Neighbour, perhaps the best yet, getting the return. Really nice move by Tottenham, just two players showing good skill. Neighbour with the run after the header by Chivers, Chivers with the return ball, and it just didn't quite come off. Jimmy Neighbour having a good half. Chivers to Naylor. That's too short. And the free kick given against McDonald. Bit of explanation, it would seem, from the referee. Not quite good-humoured. Nice to see Clive Thomas with such a smile on his face. McAllister, Pratt. Burns. Coates. McAllister. himself down. Chivers, Duncan again. Chivers, Duncan, and Mahoney. Nice combination between the big two for Tottenham. Really good work by the big men. 3 and 4 attempts at pass and return. Craig, who just got the touch in. Pratt. Naylor. Craig. Perryman. McAllister. Duncan. Naylor. Neighbour. Okay. I think that Neighbour felt that on his right chin. Throw in. It's part of what Neighbour's showing the referee. Chivers. Half-time whistle almost drowned by the crowd. And Spurs with the 1 goal and so much of their attacking starting from Jimmy Neighbour, going up there with Keith Birkinshaw, who used to be the coach at Newcastle. So the half-time score 1-0 to the home team Spurs.
Here is a message for Neil Pittman of Chalfont St Giles.
Just to check, Jimmy Neighbour is out for the second half. He's on the field. Some good examples of playing the advantage by referee Clive Thomas in that first half, not least on the Tottenham goal, because the referee has confirmed to us at half-time that Jeff Nutley handled before John Pratt scored. And Tottenham now attacking the goal to our right. And it's worth noting that in the last 3 seasons, the teams playing at home first in the semi-finals of the League Cup have not reached Wembley. So Tottenham certainly looking for at least 1 more goal in the second half. McAllister with the throw for Spurs. Coates. Pratt getting there before Nolte. Here's Duncan. Good blocking by Craig. Pratt again. That's a corner. Tottenham had 8 in the first half. This is their first of the second. John Duncan and Pat Howard. Alan Gowling back with Chivers this time. And McDonald behind. Another good catch by Mahoney. chance and didn't make it count. Mahoney finding it difficult to clear. That's presumably what the Newcastle players are talking to the referee about. It's John Duncan who stood in front of him. And a poor clearance by the goalkeeper. Coates. And a nice run, the ball so close to his feet. No one to seize the opportunity. Here's Neighbour. Cassidy. Some really lovely close control then by Coates, and his pace surprised Natras. Free kick against Keeley. No, just a throw. Coates, again showing good speed, and a good shot! Goalkeeper didn't touch it. Really good piece of play again by Coates. Getting away from his man and letting go a good right foot shot that really had Mahoney scampering back, and he didn't make it. Whether he needed to or not, well, he obviously didn't need to because it went over the top, but it certainly worried him. Bit of a push by Young right in front of the referee. Craig. Cassidy. Young. Not quite where he intended. McDonald, nice header to Burns. Offside anyway. He was offside, it's not as bad as he feels about it. Good work in the air, really guided the right way by McDonald, but Burns was just offside. Pratt. Darling. Darling looking for the foul, but the referee will have none of it. John Pratt for Spurs. Duncan. Finding Chivers to Coates. Fine save. But a nice build-up again by Tottenham, and such a lovely touch by Chivers that got Coates in. Coates kept his head well, let go a good left foot, and look at Mahoney's positioning. Really subtle touch though from the big fella, Martin Chivers. McDonald, Craig! Oh! Craig can't believe it! And the coolest man in the ground is undoubtedly Pat Jennings. Look at Craig with his hands over his head. He really got hold of this on the full and turned away by Pat Jennings, who was in advance of the 6-yard line. And Jennings looks as though he might be out for a Sunday afternoon stroll. Some fine goalkeeping at both ends. Malta's back header, Keeley. Dangerous play by Howard, but he gets away with it. And away with it is precisely what McAllister did. Really good cup tie this is proving to be. Corner to Newcastle, just the one goal in it. Spurs desperate for more, but this man has saved them being pulled back to being all square. And we're halfway through the second half of this first leg. Chivers back in defence. and making it pay. Burns. Well, opposite ends of Chivers' anatomy working well for Tottenham. McDonald's, nice turn. Another corner. Both number 9s have done good work in their own area. Naylor on the near post. Gowling poised to come in. Right to left as we look now. Coming on the near post. Young's clearance. Craig. Not quite matching his previous shot. Craig. Garling. Newcastle really in this game now as an attacking force. Here's Gowling. Free kick against Coates. And Gowling realising that he couldn't go on, made sure that he got the kick, but I feel that it was a trip anyway. Terry Neal, the handkerchief. Nulty, another corner conceded. A worrying moment certainly for the Spurs manager. He's coming to his position on the bench, although he usually does that in the second half. Keeley, Howard, Perriman away. But Tottenham under some pressure at the moment. Natras. Corner rather needlessly conceded by John Pratt. Match being watched by a crowd of 40,215. Away by Chivers. That's the second best gate here this season, only better by the League Cup match against West Ham. Gowling up, Keeley up, McDonald with the long throw. Tottenham really penned in at the moment. Offside, no! Gowling! Well, the referee is giving offside, but the linesman put his flag up rather later. When I said no, I looked at the linesman and the flag was down, but Clive Thomas had given it offside, which it surely was. Nulty was certainly offside. I'm not sure about the others. Gowling who put it in, but it doesn't count. A fine ball? No, not quite. The wind caught that a bit. Coates. A slight lull then in the crowd storm. Craig back. Perriman. Referee playing the advantage again. An accidental collision, I feel, anyway. There's Naylor. Square ball on for Pratt. But given away. Tottenham nothing like the side they were in the first half and at the start of the second. Nulty. Young. Chivers. Pratt. Duncan. Neighbour. Hasn't seen the ball for a long time, Jimmy Neighbour. Referee saying player. Right on top of the incident, the referee then. Looked to me as though Nalty stood back. Chivers couldn't get through the crowd. The crowd and Jimmy Nabo feel that the decision has gone against them. The referee right there, Nalty going in, Nabo going in on Nalty, and Nalty with his hands wide apart stood back. Handball by Keeley, no. He makes that look so easy. That's not just show, that's a big hand. That is not show at all. Got to hand it to Cassidy, number 8. Nalty and Craig for really wrestling this match away from Tottenham in the middle of the field. Natras. So much power in the shot, turned aside by Jennings. Got into some space and hit it well. Really would be no surprise if Newcastle scored. Nalty! Well, it was close. Nalty, who's done so much good work forward, may well in fact have come off the Tottenham defender who came to him. Nalty has done some good things for Newcastle going forward this season. Popped in some useful goals too. Chivers. Perryman. Cassidy. Good play that started that from Gowling. Here's Nalty. Natras getting a lot of space now on that flank. McDonald, Cassidy, but not to be. Tottenham really have survived some alarms and excursions in this half. McDonald just trying to find where it was, and it came out from Young to Cassidy. Jennings to meet him, and the shot up again. It's the cry of the crowd, but at this stage of the tie as a whole, Newcastle looking the more likely, looking to have the chance to go back to a Wembley ground where they disappointed so much in the FA Cup 2 seasons ago. 8 minutes left for Tottenham to give themselves something to bite on at St James's Park in a week's time. Coates. Keeley and Young. Pratt. Really good try again. Coates. Chivers. Coates. Free waiting. Perryman. Neighbour. Goal kick. Perryman's header across from the near post. Coates' cross. Perryman throwing himself at it. Neighbour could well have jumped on Kennedy, but a goal kick anyway. McDonald again didn't quite get hold of it. Interesting, the figures for McDonald. He got 7 goals in the first 6 matches this season, has managed just 5 in the next 26. Young. Osgood. Craig for Newcastle, will transform the game in the second half. No flag. The chest. Intelligent play by Pat Jennings, used his chest. Here's Gowling though, beaten by Young. From just around the hour of the game it's been in the main Newcastle's match. From that point on, Tottenham's 1-0 lead has looked very precarious. McDonald on for Gowling. Burns not quite reading Gowling's intention. But Spurs defending to the end, being forced right back on their heels. Last half an hour has gone. You'd have thought that Spurs were the away side. So pen back have they been. And just over the top by Gowling. Coming in with a header on the near post. A bit wide of the upright as well. Thomas checks his watch, and 1 check is enough. But will 1 goal be enough? Pratt the scorer for Tottenham after 32 minutes. Really, it's difficult to summarise the feelings, but certainly as Terry Neal goes away, he must be wondering whether his side have done enough. A match in which the goalkeeper starred, Pat Jennings, who made 1 blinding save from Craig, and at the other end Mahoney had a string of very good saves. And so as the players go to the dressing rooms, the question to be asked is really this: are Spurs taking enough goals to Newcastle?
Piece of swing, but the length